Another question?
Let's do it.
Walt writes in, I hooked up my new Blu-ray player via HDMI to my Sony receiver. I also hooked up my TiVo to the other HDMI port. Sound from those sources only comes out of my TV speakers, but not the speakers connected to the receiver. What's the deal? Is my receiver broke? Is it cheap? Is this a nefarious plot to make me buy more cables than I really need? Walt. Without actually having like the manual for your receiver and the remote control, we can't directly fix this for you, but generally speaking, the problem lies in one of two locations. First, you need to set your receiver's HDMI output audio settings. Typically, the default setting is to pass HDMI audio straight through to the TV. You need to switch it so the audio is decoded and processed by the receiver instead. The second problem is that you need to make sure your Blu-ray player is outputting something your receiver can translate, the correct audio format, Dolby, DTS, basically PCM. You need to check with the manual, find out what it can handle, and make sure that your Blu-ray player and your other boxes are doing something that it is compatible with.
I'm a big fan of bitstream output from the source device if your receiver supports it.
So would you say like PCM?
PCM if that's your last resort, but
right.
If you're dealing with Blu-ray titles where you have high quality audio formats that can be decoded by the AVR, you want to pass those along without any influence whatsoever.
AVR is audio-visual receiver, by the way.
So if your AVR supports decoding of like DTS HD or Dolby True HD, those kind of higher-end audio formats, right, then stick with bitstream output, and then you're going to end up with the best possible sound quality from your gear.
So you should only need HDMI cable from the player to the receiver and another HDMI cable from the receiver to the HD TV. And unfortunately, you're going to have to spend some quality time puzzling through those settings. If something doesn't work, try something else. You're not going to break anything permanently. You just may have to click through and change it all over again.
I like your suggestion. Go for the manual first. The interfaces for most AV receivers are so arcane that if you don't have that manual right in front of you, you might not be able to find the specific setting you're looking for.
Yeah, it's frustrating. The manual for every piece of home theater gear I own is basically locked up in a drawer next to my spot on the couch. Because, well, you know that feeling when you're like, where is that setting? Why did they put it here?
Keep your manuals in a spot where you know they're. I like big Ziploc freezer bags. Just put everything in there and stash it in a spot where you can find it.
And have digital copies. Store them in 2 locations.
You can always go online for anything made recently and download the manual as well. True. If you've totally lost it, which happens to me once in a while.
Don't throw it away with the box.